knew a year out she could be the #1 pick. They give her the toughest schedule, early schedule in the league over any other team. And remember, the Indiana Fever were the worst team. So she comes in, they start 1-8. They put nothing but quality veteran teams that had been in the playoffs.
Colin Cowherd.
Terrible start.
To the anti-Caitlin feeling stemming from the Olympic Committee's rejection of Caitlin's USA squad. Fans were perplexed by Caitlin Clark's exclusion from the initial list. Not having the most well-liked female hooper on the team seemed obvious. In the same way that Michael Jordan and the Olympic team popularized basketball around the world, many saw this year's roster as the NBA's dream team. Many believed that Caitlin and the team might improve the women's game in the same way. It was confusing to find her name missing from the initial roster because of this.
Diana Taurasi is injured, and it may open the door for Caitlin Clark to make the Olympic team.
Now, if you guys remember, this would be somewhat ironic. Diana Taurasi made it clear to everyone that Caitlin would have a rough time when she joined the league. Reality is on the horizon. Playing against some 18-year-olds makes you look incredibly human, but you'll be playing against some adult ladies who have been professional basketball players for a long time. For this remark, Taurasi received a lot of criticism. She was accused by many fans of being a hater and of being merely envious of Caitlin, who is unquestionably the new face of the WNBA. Taurasi, however, reiterated her remarks and even referred to those supporters as being sensitive. Caitlin, of course, had the final laugh. When they confronted each other, she finished with 15 points, 12 assists, and 9 rebounds, nearly a triple-double. Taurasi then changed her mind and complimented the game.
It's amazing. What Caitlin's been able to do in her short career so far has just been nothing short of remarkable. The one thing that I really love about her, she loves the game. You can tell she's put the work in. And even, throughout, her short WNBA career, it's been a lot of pressure, a lot of things thrown at her, and she keeps showing up and keeps getting better every single game. So her future is super bright.
Therefore, if Caitlin is unable to travel to Paris, it would make sense to have Razy take her place. There is no denying her popularity. It wasn't even close, but she received the most votes for the All-Star game. She received more than 700,000 votes. You can understand how ridiculous Caitlin's popularity is when you compare it to last year's highest vote-getter, AJ Wilson, who received 96,000. But when it comes to Caitlin, it appears that the WNBA is failing miserably. It seems as though they were unaware that they were going to have a once-in-a-generation superstar and lacked the resources necessary to take advantage of her fame.
They knew a year out she could be the #1 pick. They give her the toughest schedule, early schedule in the league over any other team. And remember, the Indiana Fever were the worst team. So she comes in, they start 1-8. They put nothing but quality veteran teams that had been in the playoffs. Terrible start.
To exacerbate the situation, the league had to rush to accommodate Caitlin and her supporters. For instance, the hugely popular winners, the Las Vegas Aces, relocated their home game against Clark's Fever to a larger facility with 18,000 seats on July 2nd. Due to renovations at their regular stadium, the Los Angeles Sparks had intended to play their first 5 home games at Long Beach State. They relocated 3 games, including a matchup with the Fever on May 24th, from the College Arena to the venue they share with the Lakers. As if that weren't awful enough, it appears like the Olympic Committee and the WNBA are putting forth extra effort to show no partiality. Actually, they are deliberately harming Caitlin in the development of the game since things have become so awful.
Then the league got, this is what happens sometimes with soccer fans. They feel ignored, and WA fans feel ignored, so they get very precious, very tribal, very insular. She's not going to make the USA women's basketball Olympic team, and you're like, are you crazy?
The committee is taking an emotional view of the Olympic team instead of a commercial one. This includes Cheryl Reeve, the coach of the Olympic team. Reeve used X to advertise a Lynx preseason game that is coming up. Using hashtags like Gen112 teams and Dunes more than one player, She simultaneously expressed her dissatisfaction and criticized the lack of broadcasting availability for games that did not include notable rookies. She obviously has a grudge against Caitlin. When the Olympic roster was later revealed, Caitlin was left off, which sparked criticism and raised concerns about Reeves's possible involvement in Clark's selection rejection. According to Reeves, the choice to exclude her from the team was very controversial, but in the end, it came down to custom and experience. Due to her participation in March Madness and her poor performance in the first few weeks of the WNBA season, Caitlin was not present at training camp. It sounds like a lot of made-up bullshit to appease other players because rookies seldom make the squad, even when they do participate in the entire pre-selection process.
There's a lot of sycophants in the media. They feel like the sport's been ignored, so they're part of the brigade to support it, and that's fine. But let's be honest about it. The sport made a terrible decision on the Olympic team. The scheduling early, even though they knew she was coming out and probably going to be a number one pick a year earlier, about the time they were making schedule,
has already disproved every skeptic. She is the only rookie in WNBA history to record a triple-double. In addition, she became the first player to record a triple-double in Fever franchise history. In terms of scoring and assists, she leads all rookies and ranks third in the league. In just 8 games, she became the fastest rookie in the WNBA to reach 100 points and 50 assists. Since 1998, she has been the fastest WNBA player to reach 150 career assists. In a recent game, she broke the franchise record with 7 first-quarter assists. She now holds the Fever record for assists in a single game as well as assists in a single quarter. Additionally, these are just on-court records. There just isn't anyone in women's basketball like Caitlin when it comes to off-court factors like ratings, jersey sales, and sponsorships. Heck, Caitlin is on par with the NBA's best when it comes to those kinds of things. That's how amazing she is. Because of this, the Olympic Committee cannot make the same error about her twice.
and it's like, now you made a big mistake the first time, not putting her on the Olympic team. Don't double down on dumb. Get her on the team. Give us a reason to watch the Olympic women's team. You guys win gold every year. Your competition's weak. You win it every year. Give us a reason. Quadruple your television.
Increase your TV ratings by 4 times. Now, Cowherd makes a compelling case. There are differences between the Olympic competitions for men and women. The rest of the world is catching up to them in the men's game. This explains why games are tight and why American athletes have lost in both the World Cup and the Olympics. But no team even remotely challenges America for the top rank in the women's division. They haven't lost in a major event since 2006. It was in 1992 before that. Over the past 7 Olympics, they have won gold. They are the overwhelming favorites to win gold once more. Why not include the biggest star in women's basketball history to increase the game's popularity?
Promoting not only the other women on the team that could get endorsements, but promoting your sport. There's a reason that top movie stars and top athletes use the same 4 or 5 agents, because they can handle it. They don't get overwhelmed. Women's basketball has felt overwhelmed here. You got your Conor McGregor.
At the conclusion of her college career,
The Wall Street Journal declared Caitlin the GOAT of TV ratings at the end of her collegiate career, stating that she had a greater influence on television viewership than any other contemporary athlete. On May 14, 2024, Caitlin's regular season debut versus the Connecticut Sun was the most watched WNBA game since 2002 and the most watched on any cable network, including ESPN2. With 1.71 million viewers, her game against the New York Liberty on May 18th set an ABC audience record for the league. Clark's game established WNBA viewership records on ESPN the next week. NBA TV as well. Every new record-breaking event has Caitlin's name linked to it. The Minnesota Lynx vs. New York Liberty game in late May was the only one of the most watched games in which Clark did not participate. Caitlin and the Indiana Fever have been featured in 12 of the 13 new viewing records this season.
Basketball terms, this is a layup. In NBA terms, it's a slam dunk. If you can get her on the Olympic team, you missed the first time, do it the second time. You're doing yourself a favor. Don't get in the way of yourself.
Therefore, it is incredible that this is even a topic of discussion. Anyone outside the committee would find it incomprehensible to exclude Caitlin from the Olympic team. But for some reason, this problem has become unmanageable. You have to question whether there is anti-Caitlin attitude in the league if Caitlin doesn't replace Taurasi on the team. This would be ridiculous given that she is not only improving the standard of the women's game, but also making more money than ever before. Who knows, though? Given how the WNBA veterans and the media are attempting there, it's difficult to support Angel Ree over Caitlin for Rookie of the Year. Perhaps they don't want their sport to flourish and become more well-known. Maybe they are happy to make the bare minimum and barely make ends meet. If not, they would be supporting Caitlin's inclusion on the team, just like everyone else outside the WNBA. I hope they act morally and give Caitlin what she deserves.